Hey everybody, it's Romania Black. So we're on Modazushi, chapters 106 to 110. We're almost done with the full novel. I can't believe it. Last set of chapters with Yao, oh my gosh, just getting the full extent of Yao's backstory. I said it in the reaction for the audio drama, but I'm so glad that we get the full scope of his character in this, because I really think it's probably the best version. Like the donghua doesn't give us enough with Yao, and the Untamed gives us almost too much to make him a villain, and this rides the line with him being just a really great antagonist that is complex, is layered, you empathize with him, you understand him, but at the same time you get why he is painted up as a villain in this, and it's so great. And just it all happening. I talked about it in the Untamed with the movie that will come out later today on YouTube and on Patreon. The movie, I've talked about it, but you know, they have to have these big climactic conclusions, and so far our climax has been Wuxin and Wanji making out in the rain and the candlelight while his villainy is being unraveled. It's great. It's not this big action heavy scene. It's just very character developing, and I love it. But Mingzhu showed up with Ning and everything, so the corpse of Mingzhu showed up, so I guess we are going to get our action here at the end. But we really only have these set of chapters here, and then the aftermath, which will be next week. And then the final set of chapters I'm going to look at are going to be all the extra chapters. So I've kind of reorganized myself. I'll say this in the Untamed movie reaction as well, but I've kind of organized myself. I've got my little Iwaoi post-it with all of my stuff lined out. So we're going to look at chapters 106 to 110, which is episode 16 of the audio drama season 3. We're going to look at that today, and then also look at the extra gifting a dog, which is going to be Yao giving baby Ling giving him fairy. So sad days. And then after that, next week we're going to do chapters 111 to 113 along with Into the Dream Part 3. And then I've been told through Patreon, they were like, hey, some of the extras are actually going to tie to the final chapters. And I was like, oh, good. So I am going to watch Into the Dream Part 3 because I have been watching those separately throughout this novel reaction as well. But then the Banquet, Intrusions, Dawn Till Dusk, and Young Ming I'm actually going to be reacting to along with the final chapters. So the last section of this the final part of this audio drama novel review, 33 parts in, will actually be pretty long. So I'm excited. We're going to have a big thing to round out everything along with the WangXian extras after that for the Untamed. So I'm pretty excited. I think it'll all match up. We'll have the WangXian extras for the Untamed alongside everything spicy that's going to be happening in the audio drama from here on in. So yay! But I am excited. So we have 3 more weeks this week and the next 2 weeks with the Untamed and Modazushi, and then I'll be moving towards Heaven Official's Blessing. I'll have more information. We are going to do a live stream about Modazushi and the Untamed. Holy crap. I'll probably have to go to work. I've been thinking about this. I may take my webcam and go to where I work at and do the live stream from there because they have better internet. I was like, can I sneak into work and do it there? I may have to because I feel like that may be a long chat and I don't want it to cut out. So I may end up doing that. We'll see as it gets closer. I may do a test run and see what it's going to look like at work and just go from there. But I may have to end up doing that because I want to do a live stream and talk about it and in a couple weeks. So probably around mid-May, probably around May 13th or 14th, we'll actually have the live stream, which I'm pretty excited about. I'll give you guys all details as it gets closer. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited. But anyway, in any case, we're going to get started here and listening to this. I'm really excited to see what is going to go down in this episode and what all we have to look forward to. So with that being said, as usual, I'm going to listen to the audio drama and then go read the chapters, and then we'll come back and talk about it as a whole. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the Manhua, talk a little bit about it, but let's go ahead and get started, shall we? We are going to start episode 16 of season 3 of the audio drama, covering chapters 106 to 110 of Modazushi here in 3, 2, 1, and let's start. Oh yeah! Mingzhu's corpse! Oh my god! Oh yeah, he's got the string around Ling's neck. Oh yeah. Oh shoot! That scream! Oh, he's referring to Yao as his uncle. Oh my gosh, like that scream when he cut off his arm. That was, woof. That was, oh my god. Amazing. Holy crap. Holy crap. So yeah, so Yao has no arm. And Mingzhu's on a rampage. What is he searching for? It reacts to blood and vital breath. Oh. Be careful. Okay. Oh. Mm-hmm. Oh. Oh no. Oh, Ning. Like, you saved those kids. Don't make a sound. Oh. 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 We're not the ones in the worst danger. He's gonna go after Yao, yeah. Oh my god. I don't know how this is gonna be different than the Untamed and... Oh. I am going after Ling. And WangXian coming in. And then, so Ling's in better shape. Yeah. Okay, that's why he's targeting him. Chang, take him away. Oh. Oh my gosh, Ning. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh, yes, he does. He does. Oh my gosh, Wuxian. Oh, awesome. And find a way to seal him in. Okay, that's how we're doing this. Okay. Oh, Chang. Oh my gosh. Sushi, no! Crap. And that was intentional by HuaiSang. Oh my god. Oh. Oh my god, Sushi got killed by Mingzhu. Minshan. Oh my gosh, Najishin and WangXian joining him to protect him. Oh my god. And he threw the... Why was this with you? Why was it with you? But Chang's always had it, yeah. Oh, I love how grisly it sounds. And Wanji joining him. Come on. Wow. All right. Oh. Oh, and sealing using the array. Oh. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Catch his waifu easily! I knew you'd catch me. Oh. Oh my god. You were just pierced a little. Oh my god. It's not that serious. He's like, God, HuaiSang, get a grip. Little does he know. Right. Sure, Jian. Oh my god. Give me strength. Give me strength. Jishin has all the medicine. Be wary of him, oh Wushin. If you make any moves, I will spare you no mercy and take your life. And HuaiSang heard that too. Oh, and he used a silencing spell on him. Oh my god, I didn't realize he did that in this. Like things like, you don't have to worry about me. Thanks for asking. And ironic that it's the same, way that Zishuan died. Looks awful. I don't need to look nice. Oh, shit. Oh my god. And he broke the silence spell. Oh, Jishin. Oh my god. Oh my god. Nothing. Nothing. Oh my gosh. Oh my god, this is great. Even I couldn't tell after all these years. Oh my gosh. And the music. You are incredible. Oh, this part. And the music. That couldn't have been easy. Oh my god. You! You! Oh my god. That voice acting. Oh my god. Like you're the only person I've cared about. Oh. Oh my god, this voice acting is incredible. Just because I remembered his name. Oh my god. Oh! Oh my god! Oh god. Oh. Oh my god, Chang, yeah. Oh, that music. Oh my god. Oh. Oh my god. What? Oh my god. Oh my god. I didn't realize he did that. Oh, the Untamed and the donghua don't show you that. Oh my god. Shit. There's no question. Gah. Oh. Oh, is it their string? Oh, Wanji, good. Good on you. Seven. Did it happen or not? I really don't know. Oh, that whimper. What is so? I didn't say that. Uh-huh. In 7 days. 7 strings, 7 days. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. What's the point? Just putting this all out there in the open. Uh-huh, to get him to panic. Oh, Jishin. I like that they answer this together. Yep. Uh-huh. Just to get him to take action. Yep, absolutely. It was to expose Yao. Mm-hmm. Yep, it was to expose Yao because then you invited Cece and Bishao. No. And they all went after Yao. He wanted him to become everyone's enemy. No room for salvation. Wow. Oh, it sounds like they've been planning it for a long time! Uh-huh. Oh my god. God. Uh-huh. Hmm. You seem like you didn't recognize me. Oh my god. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, you knew. Oh my God, Wushin, this is amazing. Trying to cover his tracks. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. It felt odd, so I was only asking. Yeah, that part he was just trying to clarify. Hmm. Right. But his mother. And travel back to Dongying. Sounds reasonable. Wow. I wouldn't know what I don't know. Yes. Oh, Shishin. What did he want to do? God, oh my God, just the reveal. Ah! Dig a deep pit and rebury it. Hmm. Oh, fairy. Oh, I'm here! Oh my God! And now everybody's gonna show up. Oh my God. Oh. They're scandalous if you're gonna be clinging to each other. Oh my God. Ah! Oh my God. Oh my God. No. Qiren, you don't even understand. You don't even know. You don't even know. Oh. Zaizen! Yes. Why are you all here? Oh. Oh, that Wanji was in trouble. Fairy, look at you. Fairy, you beautiful dog. Truly. It's still a dog. Oh. Oh. Hmm. Are we doing this now? Are we doing this now? Oh, we're doing this now. And the music's swelling. Oh, no, you don't get it. Or are we gonna wait? Are we gonna wait and talk about it next? Oh, I'll be keeping it. Oh. Oh. Don't ask anymore. Qiren. God. Shishin. Wow. Looks more like his mother than him. Ah, yes. That she'd be revered in death. Yeah. God, that's great. Yeah, they're not going to believe him if he says anything. He's been through some stuff, you know. Back when Yao gave him the dog. Oh, it's yours. Oh. Oh, the music's swelling and stopping there. Oh. Snores like the shitty person he is. Shut up. Leave him alone. Yeah, shut up. And after that, well, they pieced out, didn't they? Did he really leave with him? Hmm. Thank you and sorry. Oh my god. Everyone returns to where they belong. Hmm. Hmm. We're gonna leave it open, aren't we? Nothing much to say. We're gonna go back to this. So I love that they are leaving this open, that they will eventually speak to each other about it, or at least reconcile, right? Oh. Yeah. It set everything up from there. Yep. Yep. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Like, what else can they say? It's in the past. Yeah. Yes. Uh huh. And they found out everything. Yep. Mm hmm. Hmm. Yeah, someone who would be suited for such a thing would be me. And used him. Badly bullied, yeah. Took advantage of his mental state to summon. He just had to have use you and Wanji to go find all the pieces. Yeah, it's true. It's too much of a coincidence, yeah. A series of coincidences can only be a setup. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Damn. Yeah. Ah, interesting. It was a win-win situation either way. Yeah, there's no proof. It would be his younger brother. but we never know for sure. Hmm. Oh. Noms happily. Oh my god. Hmm. Oh. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I'll tell him. Good. Good, good, good. Don't want to bother him. Manji's like, huh. Oh, we are doing this. We are doing this. No! Why are they cutting it up there? Damn it! Ah, no! I was really looking forward to getting that reveal in this. And that's what Wanji was going to tell him. How dare you? How dare you? How dare they? So cruel. Man. Oh my god. That was a lot more than the donghua and the Untamed gave us. That's for sure. All right. We do have the gifting the dog extra after this, so I do want to watch that. But then, oh my god, I didn't take any notes because I was like, I'm gonna go back and read the novel, so I'll just take my notes on that. But yeah, I was so enraptured with this. I was like, oh my god, how could I? So we're getting the City Shui reveal next week. Awesome. Great. We still have 3 chapters to go. I can't believe it. Can't believe it, y'all. Yep. All right, now. But we still have like 4 minutes left, so are we getting... Is there like an after credit? I just don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. Man. HuaiSang, my dude. Again, I just love that it's never outright confirmed, and HuaiSang doesn't have like a mustache twirling moment where he's like, it was me this whole time. He denies it all the way through to the point where you really don't know, but you can just guess, right? Everything adds up. All you're needing is for the actual villain to confess, and is he really even a villain? It's like you're just waiting for the confession, and MXTX never gives it to us, or has not given it to us yet. Now, in the next episode, maybe that'll happen. We don't know. Oh, so much to talk about with Qiren and everything. This is an extended song. They really want you to... This is the whole deal. I was like, this has gone on for a good solid 3 minutes. I just love that Qiren is like, get off each other. He's just not having the PDA at all. I didn't comment on the image, though. The image of Mingzhu, like in his glorious robes as the corpse. And then you see HuaiSang with the fan in the background. And then Yao up front. Oh, y'all. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh. Right and wrong still enshrouded in a fog. I felt so bad for Ling. I was like, yo, shut the frick up. I was waiting for Chang to just like tell him to be quiet. Leave Ling alone. Leave baby Ling alone. Let him mourn his uncle's death. Like, someone that he did think kindly of all the way until the end. Ugh. Lotus blossoms bloom in the heart. For the remaining season, you'll be by my side. Lying in Gusu. Oh my god. My heart. My heart. Okay. Give us this preview. Okay. 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 No big deal. No big deal. Everything's fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Don't worry. There's no big deal. It's all good. No problems here. Okay, we do have the extra gifting a dog. I do want to listen to that before we go. Okay, hold on. I gotta get this ready. Okay. So we are going to start gifting a dog here in 3, 2, 1, and go. Baby Ling with Fairy. Oh, is that like stuff tore up on the table and everything? The lantern and then the stuff. Oh. Oh my gosh. Oh. A lonely star. Oh. Oh, that's so sad. Oh. 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 Be nice to him. That's so mean. Oh god, he bit him! Oh. 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 I don't want to hear this. This is pain. Oh, man. Don't need this pain in my life. Oh. 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 And this music. Oh, that was so sad. That was so sad. Oh my god. Yeah, so oh. Well, now that we've had all that pain, I'm going to go read the chapters and we'll come back and we'll just talk all this out. It's fine. Oh my god. Oh my god. So, yeah, wow. Next week is going to be the final set of chapters, huh? It all came together in this one. I didn't take any notes for the audio drama, and then when I read the novel chapters, I took a page, almost 2 pages of notes. I was like, oh my god. But I will say that the novel's the best so far. The novel is the best adaptation. I love the Untamed. I love the Untamed for what it gives us extra with the characters. I love that. And the donghua as far as being animated and having the moments there. It's funny, I started out with the donghua, and I think at this point, I've only got chapters 11, 12, and 13 and the extra chapters left. At this point, I can pretty much safely say the donghua is oddly enough my least favorite of the adaptations. It is. It's my least favorite, and I still love it. I love the donghua, but I think if I go back and rewatch and reread, it'll be the one I revisit the least. I mean, maybe I'll go back and do Modazushi Q for the cuteness, but I think the donghua will be what I revisit the least. I think I'll go back and rewatch the Untamed and reread this more just because of it being expanded. I think that's the biggest detriment to the donghua, is that it's so short. I think that if the donghua had been able to flesh itself out like it does in the Untamed, then I would like it a lot more. But it's funny that the chapters here, the Untamed and the donghua, each take parts and pieces from the original ending with Yao and add them to their own versions, but neither of them have his neck being snapped. I was like, oh my god, I wasn't expecting that. I was like, I was expecting the cave-in. I was expecting for Mingzhu to hold on to Yao and the cave-in to happen and Jishin to be pushed out of the way. Did not expect the neck snapping. And I don't remember if the donghua did that or not. I don't think it did, but I was like, ugh. Oh my god, MXTX just being like, kick, he's gone. Man, but there's so much that happens in this that the donghua and the Untamed don't give us that are just so good. First and foremost, let me just say the gifting the dog extra, let's just get it out of the way. Tragic. That's so sad. Seeing baby Ling, hearing him cry and just hearing him wreck his room, and then Yao being like, here's a puppy, hope that makes things better. And it's like, ugh. And it's so sad because Ling is so tragic. He just doesn't have any parents. And the adults in this world, I'm like, do the adults not realize? Yeah, they have pity on him, but then they get on to him, they're like, you're so ill-mannered. I'm like, he doesn't have any parental figures in his life. His Uncle Chang and Uncle Yao are neither of them are parents, neither of them have much parental instinct. So it's so frustrating, but I felt so bad. Listening to him cry like that was painful. I was like, oh, this is not the sweet, cute. When you hear gifting a dog, you're like, oh, it's going to be Ling getting Fairy as a puppy and it's going to be really cute. And then you hear it and it's the most tragic thing in the world and you're like, oh, this is not the happy feel-goods I was wanting. So I'm excited for next week when we're going to get the Sishui reveal, apparently. and get the chapters with Wuxian and Wanji to finish up. That'll at least be something good. Because these chapters were heartbreak, but humor thrown into it. We'll talk about it. But yeah, Wanji is the severer of limbs. Wanji is like, do you need an arm cut off? This is your man to do it. Lan Xan will cut it off and hack it off as cleanly as possible. Like, in the novel, it says there was not any blood left on Bishan's blade. It was like, ooh, just slices that off. And I want to note that in the novel, I'm reading my notes here, in the novel, Yao does not scream. He's just so shocked and exasperated. He's just like, my arm's gone. In the audio drama, it makes sense that he has to scream to just show what happened. And man, Yao's voice actor in the audio drama, that scream, I almost forgot. I was like, oh yeah, his arm gets cut off. And it's like, good. Like, you don't forget it after that moment. But man, Wuxian grabbing Ling after Yao backs up and just hugging him and being like, and in the novel saying that Wuxian's like, I don't know what I would have done if you had died. Like, I don't know what would have happened. And it's like, like he's just so happy to see Ling and he's so thankful that he's alive. And in the novel, Ling doesn't know what to do with this. He's like, nobody's really ever hugged me like this. And I'm like, oh my God, no one's hugged Ling like this. Chang, what have you been doing? You sour grape, not giving your nephew enough hugs, apparently. I was just like, oh no, like Ling doesn't know how to process this. So he just like he tries to push Wuxian away, but Wuxian won't let him. And then he throws Ling to Chang, and I like that Chang in that moment looks over to Wanji, who technically saved Ling, and Chang says to Wanji, thank you. And Ling says, thank you. And Wanji doesn't respond because it's Wanji, but I like that Chang gets humbled enough to be like, thank you, because, you know, Chang and Wanji have kind of been at each other's throats and all this, and for him to thank Wanji for saving his nephew, I'm like, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. But God, Chapter 107, Concealment. I like the chapters 107. That was the rest of chapter 106. Chapters 107, 108, and 109, and 110. Those 4 chapters are the chapters called Concealment. I love that title because it's just talking about everything that's been hidden this entire book is suddenly brought to light for multiple characters. Like, at the very end, we know that Wanji's been hiding that Sishui is Yan this whole time. Like, that's been concealed. Chang has been hiding the fact that him getting caught by the guards wasn't because he went back to Lotus Pier. It was because he tried to save Wuxian. That was been concealed. HuaiSang's whole thing. Yao's whole deal with Zhishin and him. Like, the novel all but implies that Zhishin had a thing, that Yao had a thing for Zhishin. And that's the only reason, like, he didn't ever bring any harm to him. It's like, it's all but implied. I'm like, yeah, the subtext is there, right? The subtext is there. And so it's crazy. I'm going to bring up the novel up here because there is a few pages that I want to go back and talk about, but oh my God. But yeah, so establishing that Ning, I like that at the very beginning of chapter 107, Wuxian realizes that Ning didn't immediately find Wanji at the end because Wuxian's like, oh, well, just like I went and walked around, I couldn't sleep, so I went and walked around after our scuffle. Wanji must have done the same thing. So yeah, Wanji didn't stay at the end. He went out to take a walk and process everything, and that's when he stumbled upon Fairy and realized that Wuxian was in trouble. So I like that. I like that we established that. And then Ning blocks Mingzhu. Mingzhu, the corpse, shows up. Ning blocks that punch. In the book, it's pretty graphically described, and Chang is furious. He's like, what in the world? Like, because it's the same move that Ning did to kill Zishuan is what Mingzhu does to him. And I like that he's a corpse, so there's like no blood and guts. It's just really disgusting. And they establish his larynx gets broken, so at first he can't speak. I guess it heals itself later on because he ends up being able to speak to Wuxian at the end there. Or MXTX was just like, screw it, have him talk again. But he can't speak in that moment, and he falls on top of Ling and Chang. Like, his corpse falls on top of the two of them. And Ling, I love that Ling doesn't know what to do, so he just cries. He's like, he can't, like, poor Ling has been traumatized by all of this. I'm like, get this kid some therapy after this because he's gone through a lot. But he just cries because he doesn't know what else to do. And so in that moment, Wuxian like starts to whistle and stuff and like try to lure Mingzhu away because we established that Mingzhu is being attracted to the blood of Yao, who's a Jin, and also Ling, who's a Jin as well, and Wuxian realizes I'm in Mo Jianyu's body, I can use my body to lure him towards the coffin. And at first, Jishin tries to stop Wuxian, being like, hey, he's going to come after you because you're in Mo Jianyu's body. And I love that Wangji stops Jishin. He's like, no. He like stops him as if to say, no, I trust Wuxian. He knows what he's doing. He already knows. Let's just let him do his thing. And I love that. I love that Wangji just has that trust in Wuxian. It's like that. Good on you, Wangji. But then Sushi. And the great thing about this moment with Sushi is that we know as the audience, if you've watched the donghua and watched the Untamed, you know that HuaiSang made himself get injured to lure Mingzhu back, right? Because he wants Mingzhu to kill Yao. He doesn't want him to just get sealed and for Yao to get away. No, he wants Mingzhu to kill Yao. He wants Yao to die somehow. And so he uses Sushi as like a way to get him to come back. And I love in the novel that it says that Sushi tried to slash Mingzhu's neck, that he knew he couldn't do anything else, but if he cut off the head, it would at least buy them some time. So Sushi has this weird moment where he does something that's actually like a courageous act. It fails, but he tried. He tried to do something to save Yao and them, and it fails, and Mingzhu kills Sushi. And I love in the novel that in this moment, he dies. Now, in the audio drama, he like dies and like tries to tell Yao to run away. In the novel, it's silent. Sushi doesn't have any last words. He just dies. There's no last words for Sushi. He just gets hit by Mingzhu and dies. And in the novel, like Yao tears up because he tells Jishin later, he's like, Sushi was loyal to me just because I acknowledged him. Like kind of like Chinsu. He's like, Sushi was one of the few genuine people that respected me and acknowledged me without me having to do anything at all, just because I was nice to him. And he's like, all the rest of you doubt me and have such intolerance to me, but Sushi like was loyal just because of my kindness. And so yeah, it makes sense why he tears up when Sushi dies. It's like, man, one of the only people that cared about him because it was him is gone. It's like, damn. And then I'm sorry, but Chang throws the flute to Wuxian. And in the Untamed and in the audio drama, Wuxian takes a moment to be like, oh, Chang had ching all this time. Like, he just threw the flute back at me. But in the novel, there's no time. Wuxian just takes the flute, immediately starts playing. Wangji starts playing the zither. They immediately bump into action. There's no hesitation. And he manages to get, like, Wuxian standing on top of the coffin, manages to get Mingzhu sealed in it and uses the array. I love that as he's standing on top of the coffin, Wuxian looks down at Wangji, and he's like, it's one of those rare moments because in the novel, Wangji is taller than Wuxian. It's like one of the rare moments where he's taller than Wangji, and he like leans down his head to like stroke Wangji's cheek, and he gets some blood stained on him on his cheek, and Wangji doesn't mind. And I love that Wuxian like comes down and jumps into Wangji's arms, and Wangji catches him. And it's like, you domestic boyfriends in the midst of all this still being romantic. Like, oh my God. It's great. It's great. I love that moment in the novel. And obviously the audio drama can't act it out, but they have Wangji catching Wuxian, which is just as well. But then, yeah, Wuxian's the one that recommends the silencing spell on Yao. He's like, don't let him talk anymore. Just silence him and let him heal him. And that's what Jishin does. And between Jishin being like, if you do anything, I won't hesitate to kill you, and Yao being like, okay, to like HuaiSang overreacting and just acting like a child. To the point where in the novel, it says Jishin didn't know if he should laugh or not, because he's like, what are you doing, HuaiSang? You're really overreacting. Here's some pain medicine. But that's what he wanted. And our actor of the decade, actor of the century, HuaiSang waits until the perfect moment. And in the novel, since he's silenced, he can't speak up. And he just waits till the right moment to the point where Yao won't protest what HuaiSang's about to do. And he convinces Jishin to stab him from behind, thinking that his life is in jeopardy. God. And I love that the novel describes Yao as being like, he's been so composed this entire time, but the moment he's stabbed, he gets this savage look on his face. and he like breaks the silencing spell, vomits blood, and he's like, he's like, it's been you this whole time. Like Yao's pieced it all together. He's like, you set me up. It's been you doing all of this, you crazy actor. And HuaiSang's like, and what I love about this, what I've loved in every adaptation is there has been no mustache twirling moment where HuaiSang's like, it was me the whole time. No, we as the audience, and even the novel paints it to where we're not sure. It all makes sense if it was HuaiSang behind it all. But HuaiSang never concedes in the novel. In the novel, you can't tell because it's from Wuxian's perspective. So in the novel, we don't ever get, like in the Untamed, you get those glances from HuaiSang, and in the first movie, Fatal Journey, you get the glance at the end for HuaiSang looking at Yao, so you know that he's the one behind it all. But in the novel, you never really 100% know. It's like a 90% chance that it's HuaiSang, a 95% chance, but even Wuxian at the end is like, we don't have any evidence, so it could have been somebody. All the signs point to HuaiSang. All the suspicions point to him. So we can assume that it is, but we don't know for sure. There's not enough evidence to pin complete blame on HuaiSang. And HuaiSang denies it through all of it. He denies it all. But there are little moments that I'm like, oh no, it was him. And I want to point those out. But just and poor Jishin is astonished. He's like, he doesn't know what to do. He's like, are you kidding? And when Yao says, the moment, just like in the donghua, just like in the Untamed, and in this, when he starts repeating like all the people that he's hurt, my mother, my brother, my friend, like he says it like so fast, it's like chills. You're like, but he's like, but I never intended to harm you. And it's like, like the subtext to me as the reader is that Yao always like considered Jishin like his closest friend, maybe more. That's my subtext. It's not outright said, and Jishin just doesn't know how to process it. He's like, oh my God. And then he compares him though to Mingzhu. He's like, Sushi was loyal to me because I was just kind to him, and you've been just as intolerant as Mingzhu. And he's like, even here at the end, like you won't give me the courtesy of living beyond the shadow of a doubt. And then he gets Mingzhu out of the coffin, and it seems like he intends to have Jishin die alongside him. Like the three brothers die together at the end. But at the very last second, he pushes Jishin away. Like, it's almost like him releasing Mingzhu was an act of anger in the moment, and like just an act of defiance, and being like, well, screw it all, I'll have us all die together. And then the moment it happens, he realizes, shit, I don't want Jishin to die. And changes his mind and pushes him away. And then that neck snap. I was like, oh my God. The audio drama, you're like, oh, it's great. And the saddest part is in the novel, it says that Jishin staggered away and didn't realize what happened. So Jishin didn't even realize that Yao got his neck snapped in the moment. Oh my God. It's like, oh my God. It's so awful. He doesn't realize what happened. And he doesn't know what happened. And then I love that Wuxian is like, oh God, we got to seal up Mingzhu and Yao now. And Wanji just lifts the coffin up, like lifts everybody up and puts them in with one hand. Like, Wuxian's like, damn, Wanji's got some arm strength. But oh my God, I love this line in the novel that as soon as he does all of that, he seals them all up and then catches Wuxian. And the line is, the hands that had just conquered almost 1,000 pounds were more than gentle when wrapped around Wei Wuxian. like Wuxian's like, this man Wanji that just sealed up 2 grown men in a coffin, in like 1,000-pound coffin, is gently holding me. It's like the most oddly romantic line I think I've read in a while. I was like, oh my God, what? I can't wait to get the official copy of this to see how they translate it and to see how it's different. But oh my God. But then, yeah, Jishin's slowly starting to get his wits about him and turning and questioning HuaiSang, being like, did you really see him do something? And the moment that he says that HuaiSang's like, well, I think, and Jishin's like, think about it some more. It's like, it's like, he's like, I want an answer. And all HuaiSang can do is say, I really don't know. I really don't know. God, that all tying back, the head shaker thing, tying back to the very end. God, it's crazy. And then we have all the plan. Like Wuxian has the conversation with HuaiSang, and it all is brought out in full. That's the one thing the Untamed didn't do, is it didn't have this conversation in the fullest extent. But in the novel, Wuxian just straight up does an interrogation on HuaiSang. Is like, okay, this, and this. How did this all get pointed out? And HuaiSang does his best to dodge, being like, I just don't know. Like, well, assuming that happens, like, you know, you just don't know for sure. But it's crazy that the crazy thing is that in this, they talk about the whole cat situation of him killing the cats and bringing the juniors to Yi City. And the part that's kind of disturbing about it is that, yeah, if Wuxian and Wangji didn't show up at the right time, if Yang had killed all those disciples, then HuaiSang was just betting on it. If it was HuaiSang that did it, is just betting that would just be another crime to pin against Yao. All these juniors from all these prominent sects, if they had all died under Yao's watch, that would have just been another crime to pin on him. That's the disturbing part, is that HuaiSang really didn't care if Ling and all those kids were saved or not by Wuxian or Wangji. If they weren't saved, he's like, well, they'll just be added onto the pile against Yao. More blood on Yao's hands. It's like, that's kind of the disturbing thing, is just knowing how far HuaiSang was willing to go to get Yao and get revenge on him. It's crazy, right? But in the end, they don't have any evidence. But there's a moment at the very end of chapter 109. It's on page 841 in the text that I have, and they talk about the coffin. And it's theorized, of course, that it was Yao's mom that was in the coffin. And I like that they established that Wangji, this is the part that I was like, no, it was HuaiSang. Right? Because his Lan Wangji used the tip of Bishan's blade to turn over the black chest beside the coffin. He glanced at the incantations engraved over it before he turned to Wei Wuxian, the head. The chest was probably used to hold Mingzhu's head. After Jin Guangyao moved the head away from Koi Tower, he probably buried it here. Wei Wuxian nodded at him. Sect leader Ni, do you know what was originally inside of the coffin? And Ni HuaiSang, how could I know? But with how brother, oh, no, with how sect leader Jin looked, it was probably something really important to him, huh? Just the inflection on, oh, no. Sect leader, yeah, like how it's inflected. He's like, must have been important to him, huh? Like that point, I was like, oh no, HuaiSang's behind it all. No, that's like the clear cut, like, nah, he knew what was in that coffin. He knew what was important to Yao, and he intentionally took his brother's head there. Oh my God, like, and then there's parts later on page 844, when chapter 110 starts, where they just go on about, and Wuxian says, what do you think the person would do after they dug out the corpse of Jin Guangyao's mother? And Ni HuaiSang, Wei Zhang, why do you keep asking me? No matter how much you ask, I don't know anything. With a pause, he continued, but slowly, Ni HuaiSang brushed together his storm-drenched hair. I think that if this person hates Guangyao so much, they'd probably be entirely merciless towards something he cherished more than his life. Wei Wuxian, like cutting apart his corpse and keeping his limbs at different places, like what happened with Mingzhu. HuaiSang jumped, stumbling backwards. That's a bit too much, isn't it? Wei Wuxian stared at him for a while before finally averting his gaze. Conjectures were conjectures, after all. Nobody had evidence. So that's like, it's like, yeah, he's like, so clearly HuaiSang, when he's speculating, he's like, well, somebody, if they hated Yao this much, there's no telling what they would have done to that mother's corpse. And it's like, and Wuxian's like, oh, you mean like chop it up, like what was done with Mingzhu? And he's like, oh, well, that's a bit much, isn't it? And we don't know. We don't know if HuaiSang chopped up Yao's mother's body and threw it away out of anger and hate. We don't know what happened, if he just moved her to a different location. We don't know. We really don't know. And that's the crazy part. But like Wuxian says, he's like, it's just conjecture. We can't, there's no proof. So we can say all we want. There's all the coincidences. Like at the end of the audio drama, he lines out with Wang Ji. He's like, here's all the coincidences. Here's what we can say, but we'll never know for certain. Because the people that would know are dead. It's like, but everything lines up suspiciously well. And then there's that tragic moment where Jishin is just like, he's like, I don't know what to do. He's like, what was Yao planning? What was Yao's intent? I just don't know. Like, Jishin is just a mess. Like, rightfully so. Jishin is just a complete mess at this point. And then that's when Qiren shows up. And Qiren having none of this. Qiren having none of the PDA, wondering why Jishin is so distraught. Why is my nephew and Wuxian on top of each other? Like, just has no clue. And I laughed out loud reading when the juniors just, like, they file past Qiren and they nearly trip him over. They're trying to get past him so quickly. And Qiren's yelling. He's like, no running! No making clamor! Like, Qiren is trying to enforce the Gusu rules, and they're just, none of the disciples are having it. They're just so happy to see that Wang Ji and Wuxian are okay. And I'm sorry, but my heart, because the novel says that Sishui runs up and he grabs the left sleeve of Wang Ji's robes and grabs Wuxian's right hand. And he's like holding the hands of his fathers. I'm wondering if they're okay. I was like, I'm not okay. I was like, oh my God. Like, I put a big old heart by it. I was like, the feels. And yeah, just like in the audio drama, Fairy found the disciples and he took a piece of Shishui's, he tore off a piece of his robe, threw it over his forehead like a forehead ribbon, and pretended to be dead to show them that Wang Ji was in trouble. And that's why they went back to go find them. My heart. And then that's when Sishui holds the flute and he puts two and two together. And Sishui's like, wait, what? And it's like, and I wanted it to happen so badly in this episode, but we're not getting it. It's going to happen next episode. Of course it is. How dare it? But then, yeah. And then, oh God. Chang wanting to say more, but he sees Wuxian go to Wang Ji and he keeps his mouth shut, and Ling is going to confront him about that. But Qiren's just irritated. Because he's like, my two nephews that I've worked so hard to raise into respectable gentlemen, Jishin's beside himself and Wang Ji is being scandalous with Wuxian. Like, he's just irritated. And the disciples gathered all around them. Qiren establishing that his perfect nephews were no longer listening to him and were starting to give him worry. It's like the babies are the baby birds are leaving the nest, Qiren, and he's now worried about his two nephews. I also want to point out that when he confronts Jishin is holding his forehead, like hand upon the forehead ribbon, thinking about Yao. Subtext. I know that MXTX has said in interviews that Wuxian and Wang Ji, y'all told me back in the donghua that, like, in interviews she said that Wuxian and Wang Ji were really the only gay relationship in this series. Everybody else was presumed heterosexual, but there's subtext with Jishin and Yao. I'm just saying. And maybe y'all comment below if she's, like, retracted that or added onto it. But I remember when I was watching the donghua being like, do Yao and Jishin have a thing? And everybody was like, well, in interviews she said no, but, and I'm like, And then I just love that we cut back to of course, the cultivators and everybody are like giving Yao all this hell and being like, what a terrible person. He built this statue in his honor. He wanted people to worship him. And Wuxian's like, well, the statue kind of looks like his mom more than him. And I like Wuxian's rationale that, you know, Mingxi was not given proper treatment during her life. She was looked down upon and people thought so poorly of her that Yao in her death wanted her to be respected. So he built the temple and made the statue look like her, so that when people came to pray to the statue, it was almost like her redemption in a way. And I like how Wuxian explains that in the novel. It was really good. And then just like in the Untamed, HuaiSang picks up Yao's cap. Now in the Untamed, HuaiSang has the added part where he smears the blood and everything. And that was like an ad-libbed moment. That was pretty cool. But I like in the novel that they do, like, there is that continuity there that he does pick up the cap off the ground. And HuaiSang's not really questioned. But Jishin's not talking. Jishin's like, I can't talk right now. It's too much. He's grieving. He's lost. Like, I feel so bad for Jishin because we just leave Jishin. At the end of this chapter, Jishin is left in a very awful place. Like, he's just really struggling. And it's really sad. And HuaiSang just isn't even questioned. Like, they're like, no proof. Innocent until proven guilty, right? It's crazy. But then I do like, we'll get to Chang here, but poor Ling. Ling has suffered some trauma. And just thinking, I don't blame Ling for crying for Yao. Like, it's his uncle. And he gave him fairy. And he was kind to him. And it's kind of like when Sushi died and Yao cried. Like, Ling's like, that's my uncle. And he, for all intents and purposes, he was still kind to me up until the very end. Up until the temple, he was still his uncle and he loved him. And even though he was betrayed by him, it's like, he's like, I still have these feelings. And I like that Ling establishes, he's like, I have all these pent up emotions. I don't know what to do. And crying, I like that the novel establishes that crying is the only way for Ling to release the anger and pain from his heart. That's the only thing he knows how to do. Other than be violent, that's the only option that he has. He has all this pain and anger built up in his heart. And he's like, if I don't cry, what else am I supposed to do with all this emotion? Lash out at somebody? Like, he's done that in the past, and it's, people get mad at him for that. So let him cry it out. And he's so distraught because he's like, there's no one he can blame or hate at this point. He says in the novel, he's like, everyone I want to blame or hate has done something to show me that I don't have the right to blame or hate them. So he's like, what do I do? He's like, am I just supposed to accept that I was always doomed to be this parentless child that suffers? And in the extra, in the Gifting a Dog, they call him like a lonely star, saying that he's always fated to be by himself. And I'm like, that's so sad. Like, I don't want that for Ling. I want get Jingyi over there to be his friend. Like, and to be fair, Chang is a little bit better. He threatens him, but it's all hollow at this point. Like, he does acknowledge Ling a little bit more at the end of this. But I feel so bad for Ling because he's like, what am I supposed to do with all this emotion? And then Sect Leader Yao, being the piece of garbage that he is like, stop crying. You should know the difference between right and wrong. I'm like, well, this entire novel that has been 110 chapters at this point has established that right and wrong is not exactly a clear-cut thing, but okay. And so, and I hate that idea that it's kind of like hyper-masculinity, that toxic masculinity that men don't cry and it's weak if you show emotion. And he even says that in the novel. He's like, well, it's the gesture of the fairer sex if you cry. And I'm like, dude, no. It's just, you cry when you have all this emotion. You need to just let it out. Like, there's nothing manly or feminine about crying at all. It's a way to release emotion and grieve. And that's what Ling's doing. And I just get so frustrated because, and I think we as the audience are meant to get frustrated at Yao because it's like, no, you idiot. Shut up. And the saddest part about it all is that the other sect members, they comfort Yao being like, oh, he's just a brat that doesn't know right or wrong yet. And I'm like, oh, it's so frustrating. So frustrating. I feel bad for Ling. I feel bad for Jishin and Ling probably the most out of these chapters because they're just grieving and distraught and lost. And they don't know what to do with these emotions. And all they can do is just, for Jishin, he just staggers and sighs and is just desolate inside. And for Ling, all he can do is cry. But it's just, oh my God. And so before we get to Chang and Ling's conversation, we have Qiren. I love that we established that Qiren is like, he basically is like, when I find Wanji, I'm going to ground him for 120 days and talk with him about all the bad things. He's basically going to just take Wanji home like a teenager and ground him until he sees the errors of his ways. But Wanji doesn't stick around for that. No, I like that Jingyi is like, yeah, he took off with little Apple and Wushin and Ning. And then Sijui disappears. And in the audio drama, we don't know that Ning and Sijui have disappeared. But in the novel, they established that Sijui's gone as well. And it's like, oh, they're all going to meet back up again in the next chapter. But yeah, Ling, he's like, oh, they've gone? He's like, let's go chase after him. And he bumps into Chang. And then I like that Chang is stern with him, but it's all hollow at this point, right? And Ling's like, you let them go? And this line, oh my God. This line when Chang's like, well, or else what? Have them stay for dinner? Say thank you and sorry after the meal? I was like, oh, the thank you and sorry. I'm like, like just tying back to the winds and everything. And then I like that Ling calls him out. He's like, you have a bad attitude. That's why they don't want to be around you. I like that Ling stands up to his uncle. He's like, well, this is why they don't want to hang out with us, because you're such a jerk. I love it. I love Ling standing up to his uncle in that moment and being like, get a grip, uncle. Like, you know, I love that. And Chang just being like, well, you want to get talking to? You want to get slapped? And then he doesn't. He says, he's like, there's no point. He's like, let's just go back home and to each their own. Like, he just wants to let it go. Like, let the past go. And I do feel better with the Untamed and the novel. The donghua, because of the way that it's organized, the way that the content is in the donghua, it leaves Chang in a very sour place. And it almost feels in the donghua, it feels like there's not going to be reconciliation between Chang and Wuxian. They're just going to go their separate ways and never resolve anything. And that's sad, right? Because I like Chang as a character and I want him to get reconciliation with Wuxian. But I do feel that the novel and the Untamed both establish that, yeah, right now, Chang and Wuxian are just going to have some space away from each other. But both the novel and the Untamed at this point make it seem like at some point in the future they will reconcile. At some point, Wuxian and Wang Ji will go back. Because the moment that Chang told Wang Ji thank you for saving Ling, I was like, okay, we're burying the hatchet. Okay. At some point, Wuxian and Wang Ji could go back to Lotus Pier and it'll be all right. And they'll be able to like somewhat make up with Chang. I feel that that's going to happen. Or that the story leaves it open to happen. And I feel better about that because I want these two brothers to reconcile and move forward together, knowing they're in each other's lives. But like Ling says, he's like, well, what did you want to say to Wuxian? And Chang acknowledges it mentally for us, the audience, that it was that moment that he tried to save Wuxian and it ended up getting him caught and started this whole chain of events. And I like that the novel says that just like how Wuxian kept the golden chorus secret, this was going to be Chang's secret as well. I like that. But I like that they're both acknowledging the past is over. Let's just have our space for now. We just went through a lot. And then it leaves it open for them to make up one day. And I really like that. So yeah, there was a little bit more in the audio drama. On page 850 is when chapter 111 starts, which is WangXian Part 1. Okay. And I didn't read any further. I was like, okay, well, the only thing that the audio drama had after this moment was Wuxian telling Wang Ji a little bit more about the connection between HuaiSang and Yao and the mom and everything and Cece. But then Sishui shows up and that's where I'm assuming chapter 111 starts. Oh my God. I've been trying to keep up with the Manhua the last 2 weeks. And basically where the Manhua is now is I'm putting it on Twitter. I'm putting it on Twitter where we've gotten to chapter 230 in the Manhua is where the bath scene is happening. Okay, where the bathtub's going to break. That's where chapter 229 is where it's at right now. And chapter 230 has been previewed. I put chapter 229 on Twitter. And that was just the chicken thing with Wang Ji handing the chickens to Wuxian. But chapter 230 apparently is going to be the bathtub breaking. And I'm like, oh my God, the Manhwa's getting there. We're getting there. So if you follow me on Twitter, I'm going to be updating there when I get to those chapters as we go. But next week, y'all. Next week, I'm going to be doing song reactions to the Untamed. That should be painless. And I'm going to be doing chapters 111 to 113 along with Into the Dream Part 3. So fun times. But God, this audio drama episode was great. It feels good to finally get the climax of this series in all 3 versions. And now, here's the thing, y'all. At this point, the donghua is pretty much over. They do the Sishui reveal in the donghua, and they do the Sishui reveal in the Untamed. So we have that to look forward to next week. But as you all know from me watching the Untamed ends a little bit differently than how I think this is going to end. So, and I'm wondering if this ending is going to be more in line with the donghua and maybe add on a little bit more. We'll see. But I'm so excited. So we'll see, right? We shall see. But in the meantime, I'm curious to know your thoughts down below. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe. Take care. And yeah, I'll be back next week with chapters 111 through 113 and episode 17 of season 3 of the audio drama. Bye.